Hi guys, this is Cindy
And Michael.
from Part-Time Permies, and we got our video up. Sorry about that. I might actually go back to the slideshow at the end here for a couple minutes because we have a lot of slides on that slideshow. And if you guys, I'm going to adjust this computer here a second. If you guys want to see some of the other pictures, I did not get them all. We have so many slides from this last month that we're not going to go through them all during our discussion. There's a lot of stuff. We had lots of local meals though, and lots of good food picks, so we'll go through some of that. Bella didn't want to go to sleep, I take it. You were trying to get her to sleep.
No, she was just playing around quietly.
Yeah. She is, you can see the top of her head. Yeah, you're going to say hi to everybody? And okay, so internet's going to bounce around.
It's going all over, yeah.
Hold on, let me check to make sure we're working here. We're just buffering, it looks like. Okay, I want to make sure people can hear us. I guess we should have started with that. Internet's coming back, so I'm hoping my internet on the web page will come back. Okay, so ASL, thank you for confirming, because I'm going to refresh my web page because I can't see her. Well, we have ourselves muted on our end. So, but yeah, so we have a lot going on this month. We have a number of people in the room, so we should say hello, hello. Your mom was the first one here, of course.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And Tina and Kiri from Built on the Rock, Linda Taylor, Brenda Collins. Welcome, everybody. ASL, of course. Did I miss anybody? I think I got all you guys. And somebody's chit-chatting. You say, da, da, da. Wonder if I could lower this even further and see you. Maybe. Almost. You're almost in the screen. Anyway, there we go. You get a corner of Bella's face anyway. So, no, she was not wanting to go to sleep. So we'll get to it. We have a bunch of things that happened this month. I did get one video out. It's been so busy that haven't had a lot of time to do a whole lot. But hi, baby girl. You want to come here? We did get the big tomato experiment video out, and this was, of course, recorded earlier in the summer, but it took me a while because this little one is taking more and more attention now that she's more and more active. And I know what you want. You want to hang upside down. So that video you should check out. We did have an experiment on staking up our tomatoes.
Hello.
And we did 5 different methods of staking up our tomatoes. And then just this month, though, we had to save our tomatoes. So this was a frosty, frosty morning where we put tarps up over our tomatoes, over our Trinidad pepper and some of our other pepper plants, and had our first frost. What was that, 2 weeks ago almost?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago now.
Over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, really early. It's like 3 weeks early for our area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're saying dada. But we had to save our tomatoes. And in fact, the way we put our tarps up, do you have a preferred staking method to help hold the tarps up on our tomatoes?
I think the first set was the strongest.
The first set, which had the 2x2 bars at the top, or the other end.
Yeah, with the
2x2 bars.
T-bars.
Yeah, the T-posts and
those
the
were strong
2x2s.
enough to hold the tarp.
Yep. and that worked pretty well. I did like that method of the framing of that method. So someone's gonna pull my ponytail out here in a second. Yeah, we have a frost warning here again tonight, and we had one yesterday morning. We had a frost, so our tomatoes are covered again. We still have tomatoes coming in.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty cold. Today wasn't so bad.
Yeah, it's getting cold tonight though.
We butchered chickens earlier in the day.
Yeah.
And just wore a t-shirt and like a zip up and some regular insulated pants for that, so it wasn't bad at all.
Yes. He's wearing shorts with the AC on.
We were wearing shorts I don't know, not too long ago.
We just
I wore shorts to market. What was it?
Last week?
Last week was it?
Yeah.
Because the low was like 59 or 60 and the high was about 80.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wore thermal leggings and 3 layers to market 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago I wore shorts, and I was back to 3 or 4 layers yesterday for market. And now they're discussing that we may run winter market outside all year. That'll
be crazy.
That's in discussions on how that's going to work and
that's
how they're going to set up for it. Because our indoor venue is a bingo hall that has not reopened yet, and the privately owned, he can't obviously turn on heat and open the place up for 1 day a week. So they're talking about using the main market across the street in the city, actually doing a sanctioned, sponsored market through the winter. But
I don't know how they're going to do bathrooms.
Well, the bathrooms get shut down, so they need to look at that. And
because those pipes can
tarping and heating and snow plowing and things before 6 a.m. Even if we start a little later, we need to. There's some things about people have to independently tarp or bring in propane heat. Vegetables freeze. You got to remember, some produce people come out late when it gets not just a frost but below freezing. They come out late in the day. Because they can't afford to put their produce out for 5 hours and freeze it all, and
that's true.
Greens and other things, so they blow propane and and all kinds of stuff. But that gets expensive on top of trying to sell stuff.
Yeah. So it was 2 weeks ago that we had the frost. It was on Saturday morning. 2 weeks ago. So
2 weeks.
Yeah. Because we went from freezing to 80 to freezing again, which is Michigan fall. I mean, but it was a little early for that.
A little bit early.
So we still are getting tomatoes. We did save our plants with those tarps, which is nice. Yeah, I can't believe it's October
already. I think some collapsed today. You didn't let the water off the tarps, did you?
No, I didn't.
I think it collapsed.
Oh no, we'll have to check on that.
I think that third row is probably collapsed.
Fallen down. We'll have to look at it. Somebody wants to go back to data.
Yeah, well, I was just suggesting to the market manager. I said, at least we'll have a bathroom. I believe you have to have a bathroom.
Yeah.
For a lot of well, it depends on what type of markets, but you obviously have to have hand washing. But I think that they may need to have some form of bathroom. So a porta potty.
Yeah.
With a lock on it that becomes available on Saturdays, I think is
help. Yeah,
might be a need.
Yeah.
We need it for sure. We're all drinking coffee and tea and whatever, hot cider and
yeah. Yeah, and it was nice yesterday because we were out zooming around in the outdoors, and it was actually not too cold. So between our 2 frost days, we had a little bit of a warm up there too. My computer is being silly. My mouse isn't working now. I'm having computer problems today. So, do you have an extra mouse in back?
I don't know. I thought I gave you my extra mouse.
No. This is I only have wireless system here. So, yeah. Might have to check the closet and back to make this go back to our webcam. I just turned it off and back on. We're still live.
I am aware.
Okay.
I don't know.
We're definitely having technical difficulties today. We'll see if we can either get this mouse to wake back up. Unless, no, I don't think that's an OBS issue because the mouse is for the whole computer. But anyway, so yeah, we've had crazy back and forth. We're at least stuck on a good picture. We have Bella playing around outside stuck on on the picture. So, have any of you guys had frost yet? I guess we'll start with that. Our average last, yeah, I know you can hear us. My mouse is frozen now, so hopefully I can get a mouse hooked up here in a moment. Mike just went to check him back for a mouse. With this, you okay, Bells? With a we have a cordless mouse here. But obviously the cordless mouse just like all of a sudden died. Usually it'll die out slowly, but it might need a new battery. Anyway, so I'm looking through the chat here, you guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. No frost in ASL. Does Bella chase the chickens? Not yet. She is not actually up and walking on her own yet. She is in that walker. She will get around everywhere, and she's definitely pulling herself up on all the furniture in the house, but she is not actually running around the yard yet. So not quite to the point of chasing chickens. She will chase the dog on her hands and knees, though. We do not let her on her hands and knees in the chicken areas, but she will chase who she calls Dog around the house quite a bit. And Dog gets nervous when Bella gets on hands and knees and goes at her. Yeah, Carrie, I'm wondering if that's what's going on with my mouse, that maybe it just all of a sudden decided to quit on me. But I can set up a new mouse if he brings one out of the office. So we'll see what happens, because I don't know the quick keys for switching back and forth between my pictures here. When is Bella's birthday? Her birthday is in less than 2 weeks, October 17th. It is the last day of one of our markets here, and it's going to actually be a very busy day. I'm going to need the connector piece if it's a cordless.
Right there. That's an oxymoron. You need the connector piece if it's cordless.
I don't know what to call it. Oh, it's in there. Ah, it has the self-storage. Oh, that's cool. Okay, we'll see if we could get this mouse to work. It's another cordless.
I don't know. I don't use them, so.
You gotta turn it on.
It's practically new, but it's been sitting there for years.
Yeah. Oh, yay! Guess what? Let's transition.
You should get a battery for this one.
It's either battery. The batteries usually go out slowly on it, so I'm wondering if it just kaput. Okay. We got our picture back. Regardless, I'll try a battery at some point. Yeah, so Bella's birthday is coming up. For her first birthday, we have a local baker that we'll probably get cakes from. And then we're going to go visit people in South Carolina, and maybe, I got to get a second verification, but I think we're going to wow, you're not all done. We're going to also go visit another channel, so we might have a surprise on that. But you say hi. You say hi. Can you wave hi to everybody? No. You're awfully awake for so late at night, but she did have a 3-hour nap this afternoon. Okay. Another big event was last weekend. We went foraging. Yep. And it's pawpaw season around here. So okay, guys. Fussy baby. Here, play with the dead mouse. Okay, sorry. Gave her the mouse that's not working. Watch, it'll start working. But yeah, we had pawpaws. We had a bunch of different types of mushrooms that we came across, honey buttons, puffballs, chicken of the woods, or any other oysters.
In other words.
Did we come across maitake?
Maitake, yeah. But those two guys got the chicken and the maitake.
Okay, I didn't realize they got
Or maybe
maitake
they
too.
didn't, but she had maitake earlier in the day.
She did.
They're out.
Yes, so all these fall mushrooms.
Well, we had some coral mushrooms also in soup that were harvested earlier in the week, within that week.
We ate some coral mushrooms that
they were pretty good.
Picked.
They were white coral mushrooms. They looked like the ends of leeks when they were. There was in a like a miso tofu soup, but yeah, they were quite tasty, even though they looked like whoever left the roots in the leeks.
That's funny. Della, you dropped your mouse. So yeah, I mean that was a lot of fun. Bella did really well. She spent the okay. I might have to walk for a minute, but that is dinner after foraging.
Yeah, so they did foraging dinner, plus they did some extras this time. So we had a foraged bibimbap, which is traditional for at the end of foraging. So it has a variety of greens that are cooked in, as well as some dried fiddlehead fern, and then of course rice, and it's seasoned up. And so traditional bibimbap is frequently laid out into groupings of pickled and cured and fresh vegetables and rice, and a lot of times has an egg on top and such. This is more of a rustic style where it's all tossed together. And then we had miso soup, so vegetarian miso soup with tofu and a whole bunch of mushrooms. Those were, what were they? It was like a little, not a parasol mushroom, but it was a little one similar to things that grow in your yard that we don't usually pick because we don't know what they are. But they were so that was quite good. And then there was some chicken stew, a little bit spicy chicken stew. And there was I think some bulgogi beef, but I didn't get any because I was helping serve the...
That was good. That was good. I had that.
That was long gone before I got done serving bibimbap and helping on that. And then we had 3 types of kimchi. We had a traditional, we had a fruit kimchi with apples, sometimes apples and Asian pears, so it's like sweet and spicy. And then we had another kimchi, and I'm not sure what the difference was on that. And then there was a bunch of side mushrooms, sauteed mushrooms and other stuff. Yeah, and then we had Nabe tea and watermelon. It was pretty good meal. Yeah. I thought the chicken soup was really good.
And they this is all after 3 hours of foraging. They have this, and this was a pretty big group this time too. I mean, we had masked and
we probably had about 50 people. So it was, yeah, they did. So we got out, and it was, we started at the beginning at the farm, up by the farmhouse, and then we spent 2.5 hours or so, 3 hours in the woods, going around to pawpaws and different areas.
Yeah.
There's some wild ramps, wild onions, leeks, whatever ramps. And so we had everybody kind of spread out doing our thing, and people were pretty much masked up. So it was a nice day to actually have a medium-sized group and get out and do stuff.
And this little one was on my back the entire time we were walking and was not fussy at all, unlike tonight. Go see Daddy. Okay. So that was a good time. I did get video of it, so that will be the next project video.
I don't think your live chat's running anyway.
My what?
I don't think your live chat is running.
Uh-oh. Yeah, our live chat is stuck, I think. We are going to try to refresh. Unless that was just the last chat that came through. Anybody still hear us there? Just want to double check. I know there's a little delay here. And hopefully Bella's screaming is not too loud. I apologize. She just caught sight of the key cat. Yeah, where he can't go. Okay. Do we have chat? Our chat is. Oh, there we go. Good, good, good.
Yep, we're still up.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a new county commission. Well, we have somebody running for county commissioner, or I don't know, roads commissioner or something, that actually called our house, and one of his 3 things he wanted to do was make sure we had better internet across the county. Now we have some outlying parts of the county. We're in the near side to the city, so I can only imagine what other people on the other side of the county have. So, hey, oh, we got Alberto's hanging
Hi,
out.
Alberto. How are you?
Yeah.
That's a friend from New York.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you. Definitely.
Yeah. So we had, so our county commissioner actually, well, one of the people running actually called our house. Well, called my cell phone. I picked up, and we had about a 6-minute chat from a actual elected official, not some silliness campaign. So I think his chances of winning are low because he was from the lesser popular party in our area, but he seemed reasonable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, what's next?
Okay, next is, oops, let's go here. Pastabilla did a taste test of a couple items this week or this month as well. And I'm sorry, I'm standing up so she's not so fussy. But she tried a scone from one of our local bakeries. And
that's from a Irish woman who runs a European bakery, so she's pretty particular about how she likes her scones.
Yeah. And
that is a cookie from a very traditional Midwest bakery that does lots of breads and desserts and catering. So, yeah, they're both local bakeries. They're both very well liked in our area.
The funny thing is, when I asked her which one she liked better, she picked up the scone and said it is a blueberry scone. She loves blueberries.
Yeah, organic local blueberries they get in season. However, the scones are not particularly sweet, so I'm surprised she went for the moderately sweet scone over the sweet cookie.
Yeah, no, she loves scones. Okay. I'm trying to entertain a baby on the floor now and keep her safe by desk full of stuff.
Oh, Alberto, I happen to have a recycled hat on that you'd probably recognize. It does a lot of lawn mowing and early morning work, that type of such. Yeah.
Okay. So next section we have lots of food pictures. So I will let Mike explain this one, and you can ask. And well, Alberto can answer some of the food questions too.
Yeah. So we had some. Yeah, Alberto's a pro chef. He knows his way around food, Italian food, New York, and lots of other things. Yeah. So that is some boiled beets that I guess those were beets from the market, and we had a worker, friend worker helping, and we were running late, so sometimes they stay for dinner, and so we threw together some beets that I had boiled, and then what else? Local Thai basil from our garden, some cashews that were gifted by friends that were leaving town, and I think there's a little bit of dried cranberries, and we've got some salt, pepper, a good amount of oil on there, and so a very simple throw together going through the cupboards, and that was a quick one. We had some other stuff with dinner. Our friend was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys eat so well." I think we had some, I don't know, roasted chicken or something, our chickens, and it was funny. It was just what was kind of in the fridge and cleaning out the fridge and making stuff out of it, which is, I don't know. We do a lot of that Sunday evening buffet. So yeah. So that, and then I don't know what else do you got.
Next after the Ask the Chef, you gotta scroll down. We have our.
And then when was
that was when everybody was here from the business.
Are those just vegetables?
Yeah. I don't know whatever.
Well, you got the picture so small I can't see it. So, yeah, we did a fire in our backyard about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah, the
on a
peppers
Sunday night because it was a good time to have a bunch of the people that I work with me over, and we had been trying to do a bonfire and food, but it had been so busy this summer, and we're always, Friday night we can't do anything because we get up at 4 something in the morning, and then Saturday night you're so tired to work 15, 16 hours by the time everything's put away. Don't want to do anything on Saturday night, so that leaves sometimes Sunday night, but you still have to have time and energy to prepare simple things, and then of course have to be able to do stuff on Monday. I had a busy day the next Monday. I was getting ready to go on my route to the east side of the state on Tuesday. So but we still had people over, and they're on some flexible schedules where Sunday night was kind of nice. And let me see if I can get this pulled up from the other screen because I can't tell what it is. So unless you zoom into that, I have no idea what it is.
Oh, you can't zoom in on that. I'll show you. Right? It's a little grainy, but I think what did we have for vegetables then?
I don't know.
Tomatoes and probably our normal tomatoes and squash and stuff.
I don't think it was because I had the baked tomatoes and eggplant and squash was baked in a casserole. That's why I'm saying I don't think it was vegetables because I had a vegetable.
Okay.
It would have to be something else.
Yep. Let me pull it up a different way for you if you want, or we could go on to the next one. We'll go on to the next one. Let's see here. Hold on. I gotta
put the seafood soup up.
The peppers up.
Oh, so those are shishitos. Shishitos are nice Japanese pepper, thin skin. Sometimes they're spicy, most of the time they're not. They're great to fry them up really quick, then just toss with sea salt or such. So, yeah, we're just having some appetizers, some cheese from the local cheese guy who extra ages, like an extra year and a half. So we had some cheese, and we opened up a nice big magnum of wine that's been sitting around since New York because we never have enough people over to open a big bottle of wine. We had like 4 or 5 of us, so we opened a big bottle of wine. Figured it shouldn't go to waste. Yep. So yeah, it was a super Tuscan and it was pretty tasty. We
had some beet pasta that you made with that, and that was really good.
Yeah, we made a beet and rye pasta that had beets and mushrooms in it. Yep. Also, and then it had. Did we put some meat? Oh, tongue.
Yeah, we had. Was it pork tongue or beef?
No,
tongue?
Beef tongue.
Beef tongue. Okay.
Beef tongue. Chunks of beets. Yep. Mushrooms. That might have been what was in the fire. That might have been getting hot to go in, toss in with the pasta.
That's probably
That's the only thing I can think of that I put in there because I didn't cook a vegetable in the fire.
Okay. That was me going by memory and not. Okay. This is another meal with some fresh tomatoes from the garden.
So it's kind of end of the season, so we've been doing some fresh tomato sauces. Just working with either skinning or not even skinning our really ripe tomatoes, cooking them down with a touch of onion and garlic, and a whole lot of olive oil, sometimes a touch of butter, and just doing that. So I did a cooking demo last Wednesday for a video shoot for a group that's doing homeschool and a kids subscription program, and they asked if I could do pasta making. So we made traditional pasta by hand, and then we made extruded pasta, and then we made a quick sauce, and we spent about 3 hours shooting stuff down in our demo kitchen.
Yeah.
And so I served them, and so there was 2 ladies with this group that come to the market, and so they were hanging out and eating it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so good! This is so good!" I said, "Well, it's because the tomatoes are good, and the olive oil is good, and we handmade pasta. We didn't do anything special or particularly difficult. We just set ourselves up with the right stuff on the right moment in the last few weeks when it's good, and we got something that was really nice." How do you clean that pan without everything turning black? So the cast iron I don't worry about. That sometimes I rinse out or I even scrub out with a touch of soap lightly just to get, and then it goes right back on the stove. And if you put it in the fire, it's so hot you don't get too much black soot. The bigger problem is when the candy stove, the propane burner, the heavy burner, sometimes it doesn't get quite enough air, and you do get a carbon residue on the bottom of the pots, and that is very hard to get off. Soap doesn't take it off. Scrubbing will, but the carbon flakes off all over everything. So I recommend cleaning that in a big pot sink or outside. But even the dish soap doesn't really clear it. There is some stuff. We have a friend that has some stuff that will take carbon off. However, it's really expensive. I think it's mostly an alkali, but I just give it a good hard scrape, with a scrub pad, and then usually throw the scrub pad away. And yeah. Now we did have a video. One of your first videos was on cleaning carbon. There's alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and was it hydrogen peroxide, I think?
I believe so, yeah.
You mix the two together. It doesn't smell good. I'm not sure if it's probably how good it is for you. That's a weird combination. It's a heavy oxidizer, and so it's got the alcohol. So carbon just doesn't like to come off of anything. So
yeah,
that's one way with your fireplaces, but I would probably be a little careful with the fumes. But it will wipe clean carbonized glass with almost just a wipe and no scrubbing. So that's probably the best bet to do that outside if you really need to get carbon off of a pan. Another thing you can do is if it's a cast iron, you can just get it so hot in a blazing hot fire with a blowtorch, you can burn everything to a soot and it'll burn absolutely clean, and then you can just wipe it away, and then you'll have to go back and re-oil it and reestablish the surface on the pan and get it back to pretty much non-stick. So I don't recommend doing that too often, but if it's really, really cruded up with lots of caked on grease, you can do that. So yeah.
And we could go
Did
down.
you do the? Oh, I guess we did the
seafood soup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that wasn't. That was made
at the beginning.
That was made before the live show, the day of the last live show, but I don't know if we had pictures or showed them.
We might not have yet.
So the last live show, Cindy's parents were here for Cindy's mother's 80th birthday, and we had king crab legs, which I hadn't cooked in at least 10 years. Used to cook them a lot at one of the clubs. Prices came way down on them for a while. I think it was a little before crab boats started, and then things went back up again. But we were getting really good prices on king crab. So we bought 10 pounds of king crab to celebrate her birthday. And I had some knuckles, and then we had just a little bit of leftover stuff that we didn't use. So so I ended up making a traditional bisque. So we used a flour and butter roux, used some onions and celery. We had crab meat. There's some brandy, some white wine. I made a quick crab stock with as many of the shells that I could find, again, from the knuckles, not the ones we ate, but from the knuckles that could be boiled quickly to make a little crab stock. And then we cooked that all out through the crab meat in the end, through the, did I put a little tomato in there? I can't remember.
That was a while ago.
But no, I don't think I put any tomato paste in there. Put some cream in there, and yeah, so it's a very rich traditional chowder. Potatoes from our garden, of course. And there was some bacon in there, I think. Yeah, I had some bacon in there. I can't remember if I put a splash of turmeric in. I think there may have been a splash of turmeric in there to give a little of the yellow. So yeah. What else? This is, and you put this up. Oh, this is fun. This is wheat berries. These are soft wheat berries from a local farm at the market. She had a good harvest of wheat berries. And funny thing is, nobody ever wants to buy them. And this is Pat from Kirkland Gardens farm. And nobody ever wanted to buy them. Then all of a sudden COVID hits and there's no wheat and everybody wants to buy them. Well, these aren't really for bread flour because they're soft wheat. But they're really nice. And they're like a Ziploc bag, and they were two for $5, I think. I'm like, I'll take those. I know a deal when I that's the great thing about our market, because it's not in the country, it's in a medium-sized city, but it's not very progressive with food. Things aren't overly pricey, but also people aren't clamoring to get things, so you get kind of free run on a lot of the specialty things. So wheat berries, I got some cardoons a couple weeks ago, although most of them went bad. I didn't get time to work with them. Italian eggplants, one guy grows them, and I get a half bushel at a pretty good price. I get 1 or 2 of those a year. I have some downstairs I need to use before they go bad. I need to pickle them. And people don't really crave these things, so the farmers get upset. They grow them, and then nobody wants them. And I try and buy them, 1, to help them out, and 2, because it gives me something to work with. But yeah, the wheat berries, I cooked them out for quite a while, risotto style, but they take, I think I cooked them 45 minutes. They could have cooked a little more. I think I had a chicken and pork stock, and then we had some mushrooms and some onions and carrots and a bunch of olive oil, and finished it with some butter and, oh, goat cheese in the middle. Had some goat cheese from somewhere. So that was a really nice sort of risotto style. It was really tasty. Yeah.
You want me to see what the next one is?
Yeah, and going back to scrambling in a copper bowl, yes, copper reacts with a number of food products, especially egg whites. It does help you get more of a lift and fluffier. A lot of candies made in copper bowls, however, eating too much copper is not good for us. We need very small amounts, and especially if it's in acidic conditions. So that's why candy makers use it, but in general, you should not be cooking in a copper pot. The traditional copper pots have tin lined. They have a heavy tin on it. If that tin becomes damaged and it breaks through the copper, one, it'll corrode the copper. 2, it's not very healthy, especially something like a tomato sauce. And so you need to send it back in to be re-tinned, which is expensive, but those copper pans are really, really expensive. So, but yes, whipping eggs for meringues and such in a small copper bowl, if you can get your hands on one, does give a little extra lift. This was 2 rounds of, this is kind of some leftover. This is just a casserole of tomatoes, summer squashes, zucchini, some onions that were grocery store onions. Bake that down, sort of a ratatouille or Italian, casserole, baked down with some fresh basil, lots of olive oil. Could have probably baked it a little bit longer, but we need to eat dinner, so it was still on the fresh side, but definitely wasn't hard and was really quite tasty. So we made that, and then I made it again about a week later because we had leftovers that night when our friend was over with the beet. Oh, so we had this and that beet salad, something else, and maybe, I don't know, roasted chicken or something. And she was just, or no, we had some homemade sausage that I'd made. She was just amazed. I'm like, well, we're actually cleaning up the refrigerator, but we just had a few good meals.
And what do you do with abundance of tomatoes and summer squash?
Yeah, well, we really hadn't gone to make that type of summer, casserole for a while. We've had the kakutsas we were playing with, or the long squash, but yeah, we had an abundance. We were trying to use as much of it as possible. So, yes, mix in copper, don't cook in copper, correct? At least unless it's lined copper. Favorite sunchoke recipe? I'm quite a fan of sunchokes. We actually have a lot of sunchokes, and
harvest some soon.
Yeah, with this cool weather, we can start harvesting sunchokes. The sassafras, we have the big sassafras grove right on the edge of the property. We could get some sassafras root. A couple things that get better. All the root vegetables are getting better with the cool nights. But yeah, sunchokes, shaving them really thin and frying them into chips is nice, although I don't really do much frying. I don't even have a fryer. I just don't need it. Pan fry now and then. You could do a little pan fried chips. I like to kind of half peel them, the ones that have a tougher skin in the ends, cut them into like little triangles or rough cuts, and roast them with olive oil and salt and pepper because they sweeten up. I just like to pan roast them. They are nice and like a gratin or again baked down into a casserole with or without a lot of butter and cheese. And yeah, most of the things that you can do with a potato, you can do with the sunchoke. Puree. you puree them up, and I like to cut it, I think we've talked about before, 50-50 with mashed potato. Spreads the flavor and the cost, but it also gives you a little more creaminess. Sunchoke doesn't have enough starch to hold as much butter and cream, so the potato helps with that. And you can make soup. Makes a really nice soup, like puree soups. And again, I would also thicken that with your onion and maybe a touch of celery, but I wouldn't use much. And then I'd add some potato in, cook some potato in to help bring that about, and maybe do some little fried up prosciutto or pancetta, little pancetta chunks or bacon or something. A little pork in that soup would be really, really good. I need to put romaine is $6 a bag. Wow. I know out in the middle of nowhere, Texas, that's going to be tough, but yeah, you should be growing lettuce at $6 a bunch. Plus, with how many times it's been contaminated this year, yeah, and everybody buys the baggy lettuces. Buy the field-grown head lettuces. They have very low contamination typically, versus the washed and bagged ones. So yeah. And let's see. I got a fun picture coming up here. It looks like Cindy set up. Yeah, well, yeah, you cook nice, then you go home and make SpaghettiOs. That is common. Microwave burritos, Costco pizza. Yeah, there's lots of good things to. But we're so busy and we work so hard. When you're commercially working, average week is 50 to 90 hours a week. So there isn't any time to cook meals. So you eat whatever when you get home. You're too tired and it's too late. So that's not uncommon. We've been cooking a little more. I am really, really busy right now, especially September. But we have to cook more. And we have a lot of great product from our garden and being at the market every week. And I'm cooking pretty quick things. I'm not spending a lot of time. So I'm throwing things in crock pots. I am making bread about twice a week. I'm doing sourdough twice a week. Saves on money, and we do eat better. And making pasta, it's pretty regimented, and we're doing the same things over and over. So having some extra playing around keeps things interesting. So this goes back a few weeks ago, probably the beginning of the month, or maybe a little bit back in the last month.
A lot of these meals were that 1 week right after the last live show, because we had meal after meal that week where we had pictures.
Yeah, and I don't know, we just had stuff coming out of the garden, and some of that stuff showed up on my phone but didn't get uploaded to our storage where Cindy gets access to it right away. So this is a tartine. Tartine is a fancy word for a bruschetta or an open-faced sandwich, or whatever you want to call it. It's a middle of the afternoon housewife paying a lot of money on having a glass of white wine with their friends for $14 deal. But tartines can be really nice, and Alberto's done a bunch of tartines. We did some tartines on a club menu for a little bit down in the restaurant. Problem with the so I'll tell you, tartine is basically a platform, usually a piece of bread of some sort, and then it's a composed or semi-composed with whatever on top. So you can clean out the cooler and get all kinds of cool little bits of things, some high-value things and some other things, and put it on there, and then you drizzle it with olive oil or dressing or whatever you want and make it look really good. You charge a good amount of money. It's on the lighter side, and it's quite nice. That's the good side of it. You can really be creative. It can look great, and the food cost is actually low, even though the presentation is really high. Unfortunately, it takes some time even to rough compose these. So when they get put on menus, it's a cook's nightmare because you get busy, and having to put these together can really slow you down. It's sure not doing a hamburger. But we have here, I was cutting a fresh piece of prosciutto. I brought in it's American prosciutto, the cheaper stuff, because we're making vodka sauce, and I guess I'd had most of a piece of prosciutto all year, but I'd run out of it. And so I had just cut it fresh, and I freeze it so it holds, because we don't go through it very fast. And so we as the company. So I cut a couple slices to enjoy a couple slices. Threw it, that on tartine. I had some pecorino. I always keep pecorino to shave in the fridge. I took some quick curls of yellow squash zucchini, baby zucchini, and I think I had some Thai basil, and looking at this, Thai basil and probably some Italian Genovese basil
From the garden.
from the garden, and there may have been some artichoke. I'm looking at what chunk that is. If it was artichokes or something else that I cleaned out in the fridge. That zoomed in a little more than, yeah. So it was basically a little bits of this and that, green and yellow squash, and the highlight was having a little prosciutto underneath it, and then a good dose of olive oil, and we had a mostly raw product, and so that was a fun one. All right, going back to some comments here.
And a baby playing in the background.
Yeah. Oh, they pickle the sunchokes. That is one way I have not had them. I'm sure that's good. You can pickle about anything. That sounds really tasty. Yeah. What else? I want to see what else we got in the list here. I know we're getting close to 10, but are you running a question or a raffle or whatever tonight?
This might be a little difficult, but we could do a Nabe tea giveaway.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Here, so this is actually tonight's dinner. Some kale from Bonamigo. We don't have any kale in the garden. These are some honey mushrooms foraged last week. Quick sauteed, slow cooked the kale down, just a whole bunch of olive oil. And that is a double smoked pork chop from Young Earth Farm in Decatur. So Dave grows the meat. He's packing, does the cure on it. So that's a German style Kassler Rippchen, double smoked pork chop. We just do that in cast iron pan. Slowly warm that up, and as that was getting warm, I threw the mushrooms in at the end, and then we just had the kale with olive oil and a pinch of salt. Very, very. Oh, I had a little bit of sauerkraut left. I didn't have enough for the pork chop, so I threw a little bit of sauerkraut, a little brine in with the kale to help. Yes, that was to help give it a little vinegarness to the kale. So yeah. All right, so we've got. I guess we're gonna do our traditional once a month, and that's we're doing once a month chats. It's every time we get together, our giveaway. So let me see. I'm trying to pull up the other screen and see how many people are in the room.
Just maximize the screen.
How did that?
Sorry.
All right, there we go. It's coming back up, and
no, it's not.
I don't know what.
I'm not sure what you hit. Here, maybe.
All right, now I think.
There we go.
All right, we got 9 people, so the odds are good.
Oh my goodness.
The odds are quite good because I think one of them is us, so it's a small group tonight. Started late. So I don't know, what's the question?
What's the question?
Oh, so the giveaway is Nabe tea,
First person to answer correctly.
which is a forage blend of up to 50 different things through the season. All natural herbs that have been picked and dried and blended. It's non-caffeinated, so it's a general healthy and tasty tea that you can steep along with a black tea or green tea, or you can have just by itself and drop a honey in it or something. It's quite nice.
Or by itself. It's really nice.
Yeah. So.
So we will give you that, or
or a choice of 2 pastas. We do have our fall flavor blend in and our pumpkin back. I don't know if they're even up on the website. They're supposed to be, but
they will be soon.
So the fall flavor has orange and yellow pumpkin, a brown cocoa, unsweetened, obviously, and then we have a black and white that are unflavored. But the white is our neutral traditional pasta. So those 5 are together in our fall blended, and then we have a pumpkin only and we have whatever else. So you have a choice of the Nabe tea or a little
2 pasta.
pint container of that, I guess it is, or 2 pastas of your choice, or let me choose them and we'll send those out to you.
Yep.
So both pretty good stuff. That Nabe tea, by the way, she sells it, I don't know, it's about $10 or something for a little container. But I tell you, people don't get it around here. That stuff would be gold if it was in a big city. People would pay so much for some of those things because the amount of time that goes into it goes into all that foraging and collecting of the goldenrod and all the good
50
things.
herbs in it.
Yeah, up to 50, and a lot of it kind of helps with allergies and just general well-being. It's just nice natural stuff. So what's the question?
The question, since everybody was asking earlier,
And the first person to come up on our screen, whatever order that is, with the correct answer will be the winner.
Yep.
Yep.
And no exclusion since there's not that many people in the room. First, the question is, since people were asking earlier today.
Oh, we still got a plate of food on the screen. Thank you.
Thank you.
You done looking at a pork chop?
I gotta taste the bacon.
Okay,
How about the question being, when is Bella's birthday? What date?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was discussed.
Yes, it was. What date is Bella's birthday? First birthday.
Yeah.
So do. We might have a little delay here. Yeah, we're making everyone hungry tonight.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of food pictures. So we've been doing stuff in the garden. We butchered chickens today, 18 chickens. We've got a few that weren't big enough, so they're going to have to hold back. So we're down on our chicken counts. Our meat chickens are going to the correct place at this time of year. Had some nice big ones. Nope. Valerie D. Close. Nope, Tina Close.
Close.
2
weeks from now is not the 27th.
It's close to 2 weeks. It's roughly, yeah. You got to pick.
Tina put 2 weeks from now, but it's not quite 2
Carrie,
weeks.
you got to pick one day. You can't pick 2 dates.
Did she get either of them?
She's close.
Oh, Carrie, pick one of them.
Yeah, October 12th.
Pick one. Come on, guys. You're close.
28th.
Nope.
20. Nope.
No, not the 20th, not the 28th,
19th.
not the 16th.
We're getting
not
there.
the 18th, not the 19th. Not the 12th.
19th again, yeah. Wow. It's tough.
Oh my goodness.
I think it was actually.
I might not have said the specific date,
but I
gave the general
play. Everybody's open to play. I think you're right.
There.
There it is. Carrie, you got it. The 17th.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the 17th.
Wow, that was a tough one. All right. Carrie, we're sending stuff out to Texas. So you know what to do. You can send us a private email or through the website or whatever.
Or
Facebook. And make sure we have your address and tell us if you want the Nabe tea or you want the pasta, 2 pastas. We will get them in the mail hopefully before the end of the week, and you will see it not long thereafter.
If it's the tea, we'll have to get it from Nabe.
I guess if it's the tea, we might have enough. Yeah, I will probably have to get it on the Saturday. So yeah, I'll have to get it on Saturday if it's tea. If not, pasta will figure it out.
Yep.
All right.
So congratulations,
Well,
Carrie.
the delays are coming in. Tea. All right, we'll get you tea. Yeah, you're going to enjoy that. So that's it. So we're open to questions.
Any questions?
Yeah, we had lots of stuff to show, but food questions, chicken butchery questions, I don't know, whatever, Bella questions.
Tomato gardening questions.
Yeah, we'll hang out for another
minute or two.
Yeah, minute or two, 15 minutes, whatever.
Bella is wanting to crawl everywhere.
So.
Let's not go that way.
Yeah. Alberto's been cooking with our pasta some. He's had some nice pictures. Yeah.
Alberto, if you want to list your Instagram,
yeah, I know he's doing some Instagram and Facebook here and there. I don't know, and I don't know how big your garden is this year, but hopefully a little more time on your hands. Have a big luscious garden. It's hard sometimes to get in there. We have a hard time getting enough time in the garden to really carry through everything we want, but yeah. Oh, we had the cider weekend this week at the market. That was fun. So about eight groups have of cider that they either press themselves or they design and set up the fruit and have somebody press for them. We usually have a cider tasting and then a competition at the market and a judging with some celebrities and some professionals. I was able to sit on that at times. And this year we did not, obviously. But the cider's out. Apples were a little bit short on supply. Some of them frosted out, but most did not. But the apple crop has been very good, very tasty. So, yeah. Huh. When the seed pack, we had some seed pack that says says parsley, but your kids say it tastes like mint. What is it?
Oops.
Like mint, the Nabe blend tea is not available on our site, but just text me if you want some. I will. I will expedite out some. I have a pretty good connection into Nabe to get product expeditiously. Yeah, it's a neat herbal, and it is all wild forage. So, and I could give you a better description of some of the many things in it.
Oh, she has everything from plantain to goldenrod to, oh my gosh, everything you see in the foraging videos seems to be in her tea.
Not really, like something like St. John's wort. I don't think is in there. Some stronger. Some of the stronger medicinals aren't in there, but but otherwise
you're gonna get your
what would taste like
clover and I can't even name half the things.
Yeah, lots of clovers in there. The seed pack says parsley, but it tastes like mint.
It probably is mint.
It probably is mint, but yeah.
Sometimes they mislabel seeds from some of these companies occasionally, like they get them mixed up. And some of those seeds are tiny. I would say parsley seeds and mint seeds are both tiny seeds, so.
Yeah, well, people say what to do with old geese that aren't laying. Well, you're going to eat them, of course. I mean, what else would you do? So they're going to have a generous amount of fat on them. So you're obviously going to want to capture and render as much of that fat because you can cook in that fat and just like bacon fat. You can salt and cure the legs into a confit, and because they slow simmer in fat after the salting for 3 hours or whatever it takes till they get tender, you can confit those. It doesn't matter how tough and old they are; they're going to be amazing. The breast should still be okay. You could slow roast or stew it, and I think it would be fine. You could definitely chop it up and do Cajun recipes, doing duck gumbo or duck with rice. But you're going to braise it in crock pot or whatever 3 hours. They should be amazing. They may be a little more irony from the mineral uptake, depending on how much grass. But yeah, we are 45 minutes from Holland.
Holland's probably a little further. I'm guessing it might be an hour.
Up to an hour, yeah. 45 minutes to an hour. It's kind of the interstates run. We take state roads to get there. It's kind of so it's a fairly direct, but. Yeah, we have blueberry farms here. Lots of blueberry farms just 5 miles from here, and then going out towards the water. There are a lot of medium to large blueberry farms, high bush, and there's some what else? Aronia berries. Some people are doing some aronia berries, which is a superfood also. Looks like well, it could be lavage.
Lavage, yeah.
Looks like parsley or celery. If it tastes like mint, it's I know what it is. It's skipping my brain though.
Tip of the tongue.
Chervil. I think it's chervil. Chervil tastes minty because chervil has an anise flavor and it has menthols in it, but it's sweeter than tarragon and less strong than tarragon. But it has a small leaf, not too unlike parsley.
Yeah, it does look kind
of.
So
I think you might have chervil, which is a phenomenal herb. It grows more delicate. It's a little lighter green, has a thinner leaf and a thinner stem, and the stem is fully edible. It's minimally used in the United States, and it to me is one of the best culinary herbs. So hopefully you have shareable, and then you use it in mixes of fresh herbs and chop it up and put in all kinds of stuff. So yeah. Tacos, yes, duck tacos. Braise it down, stew it down, tacos.
Goose tacos.
Stew with chunks of potatoes and carrots, and yeah. But I think if any of it gets stronger, salting it and curing it, you can do smoked legs, but the confit will get it tender every time. And then you can, even if you take the skin off, you're not roasting it whole, render down all of that fat and save the fat. Hearty Kiwi. We tried to plant a Hearty Kiwi. It's heartily sitting there in like a few little leaflets and has barely grown in our sandy soil. We hope that it takes off. Goose pate. Yeah. Yeah. Goose pate would be good. The liver should be good. Some of the wild foraged animals, I find, like our chickens, the livers are a little stronger, which is not necessarily a good thing for pate. But you can always blend it with pork. Rillettes, where you pull the meat and blend it, kind of shred it and pulverize it with some of the fat and make rillette, which is sort of like a dip. Sort of like, that would be a good thing. Huh. Okay, thank you. I know it wasn't nuts. Yeah, I think it's, you got rillette, yes. I was going to say rickets. Yeah, rillette, of course. How do you cook Cajun food? That's a tough one. That could be a lifetime of learning. Yeah, good Cajun cookbooks and TV shows. Yeah, a lot of flavor, a lot of tradition in Cajun and Creole. And then moving into the Afro, the French Afro blend of everything. Alberto worked in New Orleans, I believe, for a while. He's got a pretty good handle. I can pull off a few things, but that's not my... I wouldn't cook for a New Orleans person because it's all about food, but I can pull off some representative things. But their big deal is a lot of intensive spices, spicy sometimes, using things like andouille sausage, tassel ham, and some of those spiced pork, and then of course, lots of rubs and blends which you can buy or make. Lots of greens, but it can get very complex. Highly flavored. So, yeah. All right.
I think Bella's climbing Daddy's chair.
Well, I think that's a pretty good...
I think we got...
Pretty good show, even though we got a late start today.
Yeah,
we'll be back in a month.
Yes, the first Sunday of November.
Yeah, and I don't know in the winter if we'll go back to start doing some every other weeks, or we were doing weekly for a long time, but it just got Trinity. I was going to talk. Holy Trinity, of course. Every cuisine has its profile of flavors using herbs and spices as well as vegetables to create an underpinning flavor. And so in Cajun food, of course, the Trinity or Holy Trinity is sort of like the French mirepoix, which is onion, carrot, celery. It's it's celery, onion, and green bell pepper, sweet pepper. You can modify that and start adding red peppers. You could end up with some carrots in there, but it's traditionally those three items and possibly garlic as an underpinning flavor. Very similar to sofrito, which can have even more garlic and maybe pre-cooked down into some fat. So you're bridging into that format without the carrots. So yes, using a sofrito to start your flavors in many of the dishes is common and can start to bring a sense of Cajun cuisine to your food. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it quits for tonight.
Try to keep up with a baby who's all over.
Yeah. I had a good book though on Cajun cuisine.
We can look it up for next time.
Yeah, I've got to pull it. I bought it when I've been to New Orleans 3 times for conventions, and so it didn't give me a lot of exploration. But I've been to New Orleans. I haven't been outside of New Orleans, where a lot of the Baton Rouge and roux, cooking, thickening sauces with that flour and butter or flour and fat using animal fats, and using your different roux, but also using the black roux where it's almost burned. It is, the French would say it's burned, but controlling to a very, very dark roux for your gumbos and other things is really a New Orleans only to get that dark. Other cuisines use the lighter. So yes, roux, that's a big deal. Yeah, so I'm married to Cajun. Well, I hope you can cook some Cajun, some Creole, and some, yeah. I've made Tassel ham a couple times. By the way, homemade Tassel ham, it's phenomenal. Hung, cured. It's a spicy, like other cayenne and other spices are rubbed on the outside of a little pork, little pork like shoulder roll. Yeah, it's really, really good. And that is so spicy. Typically, you cut up pieces and you use it to cook and flavor things. You can cut thin slices, very thin, and put it on like on a hors d'oeuvres board, but not. Sometimes it's a little too spicy. You don't really eat it. You cook with it. So yeah. All right. I think that'll do it. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, everybody. See you next time.